The Russian Navy of the late 1990s was a graveyard of giants. Its massive blue-water Soviet fleet, the carriers, the battle cruisers, the destroyers, was rusting away, a victim of economic collapse. But the crisis was not just on the high seas. An even more insidious decay was hollowing out the heart of Russia's naval defense, its green water fleet. This was the vast armada of smaller corvettes and patrol ships tasked with the single most important mission of any navy, defending the nation's own coastline.
The shield is breaking.
This fleet, comprised of hundreds of aging Soviet-era Grisha, Kharkiv and Nanuchka-class corvettes, was sailing into obsolescence. These were ships designed in the 1960s and 70s, armed with dated sensors and weapons, and utterly unprepared for the realities of 21st century naval warfare. They were noisy, making them easy targets for modern submarines. Their radar and air defense systems were a generation behind, leaving them vulnerable to modern anti-ship missiles and stealth aircraft. The shield was breaking from the inside out. This was a catastrophic vulnerability. A nation's near seas are its economic lifeblood and its strategic backyard. This is where vital shipping lanes converge, where undersea communication cables lie, and where the nation's ballistic missile submarine fleet, the ultimate nuclear deterrent, sails from its home ports. Leaving these areas undefended was unthinkable. The aging Soviet corvettes were no match for the new generation of ultra-quiet European diesel-electric submarines, or the advanced, multi-mission frigates being fielded by NATO navies. In the event of a conflict, Russia's coastal fleet would have been annihilated in the opening hours, leaving the nation's most vital naval bases, like Kaliningrad in the Baltic and Vladivostok in the Pacific, completely exposed. The Russian Navy was facing a crisis of presence in its own territorial waters. Couldn't afford a new fleet of massive destroyers for this role. Needed a new kind of coastal guardian. It needed a warship that was small, affordable, and numerous enough to be built in quantity, but also stealthy, technologically advanced, and lethal enough to fight and win against a superior foe. The solution was the first truly new, post-Soviet surface combatant to enter large-scale serial production.
These ships are now the new
Project
backbone of the
2380,
Baltic and
the
Pacific
Steregushchiy
fleets.
class corvette. This was not a rehash of an old design. It was a revolution, a ship that would drag the Russian coastal fleet into the 21st century. The Steregushchiy, or guarding, was a masterpiece of modern compact warship design. First, the stealth. Her most radical feature was her design. The entire superstructure was made of composite materials and shaped with clean, angled lines to dramatically reduce her radar cross-section. Her mast was a unique enclosed pyramid structure, concealing the advanced Zaslon multifunction radar within. This was a ship designed to be a ghost, to see the enemy long before the enemy could see her. Second, a balanced arsenal. Despite her small 2,200-ton size, she was a true multi-mission combatant. For surface warfare, she was armed with the Uran anti-ship missile system. For air defense, she carried the Kashtan, or, in later versions, the Redoute vertical launch air defense system, a navalized version of the S-350 Vityaz. And for her primary role, anti-submarine warfare, she was equipped with the revolutionary Packet NK system, a unique dual-use weapon that could launch torpedoes to kill enemy submarines or fire anti-torpedo torpedoes to defend the ship from attack. Third, automation and efficiency. She was designed with a high degree of automation, allowing her to operate with a crew of just 100 sailors, a fraction of the manpower needed for an older Soviet destroyer, dramatically reducing operating costs. The Steregushchiy class was the answer, a stealthy, versatile, and affordable guardian designed to rebuild the fleet. From the coastal waters outwards, the proof of the Steregushchiy's success is written in the steel of the dozens of ships that have been built and have entered service. They have become the modern backbone of both the Baltic and Pacific fleets, the workhorses that have systematically replaced the aging Soviet relics. They have proven their capabilities time and time again in major naval exercises, acting as the core of Russia's coastal defense strategy. They have undertaken long-range deployments, showing the flag in the Mediterranean and the Indian Ocean, proving that even a small corvette can have a global reach. But the ultimate proof of the design's excellence is in its evolution. The original Project 2380 has been the foundation for a whole family of more advanced warships. The Project 2381 was an improved export version. The Project 2385, like the Steregushchiy, is a heavily upgraded version armed with the universal UKSK vertical launch system, allowing it to carry the deadly long-range Caliber cruise missile, giving a small corvette the strategic punch of a much larger destroyer. And the futuristic stealthy Project 2386 Mercury represents the next generation of the class. The fact that this hull has been the basis for 2 decades of continuous development and production is the undeniable proof that Russia got the design right, the legacy of the Steregushchiy. Class is the story of a Navy's resurrection. These ships were not a vanity project. They were a necessity. They were the pragmatic, affordable, and highly effective tool that allowed the Russian shipbuilding industry to get back on its feet, and the Russian Navy to rebuild its strength where it mattered most.
Understood.
In its own backyard. They are the unsung heroes of the modern Russian Navy. While the world's attention has often focused on the massive nuclear submarines or the hypersonic armed frigates, it is the humble Steregushchiy class corvettes that have quietly and professionally formed the new shield. They are the ships that stand the first watch, the guardians of the shallow seas. The Steregushchiy class is more than a corvette. It is a symbol of a nation's ability to recover, innovate, and rebuild. It is a testament to a new era of naval design, where stealth, versatility, and efficiency are the keys to power. They are the quiet professionals, the coastal guardians who brought a fleet back from the brink. Share this video to explore the fascinating and strategically vital story of the Steregushchiy.